Last day, sorry,
Mm.
am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are
Yeah.
audible.
So last day we were discussing something about functions in Python. Okay.
Yes.
So the PPT was not completed. Function. The first introduction was given to function. What is function basically is we know if you are coming from C, C++
Mm.
or Java background, we already know what is a function. Okay.
Yes.
So, as for the definition and the usability of functions, we have discussed in our last class. Uh, Today, we will go deep inside that PPT and more something more about functions. Okay, so
Okay.
we come to know in our last class that function, any function in any language, not in Python. Okay, for any language, a function can be defined in four different ways.
Four
Okay.
different.
Okay,
Mm.
any function can be defined in four different ways with respect to what the function is actually taking as its argument or parameter,
Input
and what the function is
and
going to return.
return.
Related to that, a function can be defined in four different ways. One is your give nothing take nothing, means when the function is not taking anything as its parameter.
Mm.
Okay. And when the at the same time function is not also returning anything, see here, this function is not returning
Mm.
anything. Okay, then we can signify that function as a give nothing and take nothing. It is not taking anything, also it is not returning anything. Okay. Ballpoint pen. Okay, so next sorry, so the next one is give something.
Take
In
nothing.
this one I can take.
Mm.
Okay, so the next one
Mm.
is actually, so if you call this is one, this is two. Okay, give nothing take something means
Mm.
nothing means it will not return anything. Okay, but it will take something in its parameter. Okay, so the
Yes.
function, all those functions which take something in its parameter but not return anything
Mm.
to the calling part is can be categorized in this way: give nothing take something. See here, it is taking a parameter here. It's not like
Mm.
this function was not taking anything in its parameter. In fact,
Mm.
whatever we can pass inside this parenthesis, we can say that that is a parameter. The variable we kept inside that parenthesis is called parameter. Okay, we are going to
Parameter.
discuss about this parameter and arguments in our later slide.
Mm.
So the functions that are not taking anything in its parameter as its parameter is take nothing. When the function is taking some parameters, one or two or n
Mm.
number of parameters, then we can say that it is taking something in its parameter. Take something means taking something in the parameter or as a
Parameter.
parameter. Give nothing means it is not returning anything. See,
Returning anything.
you follow that there is no return statement here.
Mm.
That means it is not, this
Mm.
function is not going to return anything to that function from which it was called. Okay, so
Mm.
simply this can be categorized as give nothing take something. The
Something.
third one we can design that give something take nothing means
Mm.
it will again, it is same
Returning
like this.
something.
It is not going to take anything in its parameter. Okay, but you can follow that there is a return statement. That means this function is going to return something, but it is not taking
Mm.
anything in its parameter. Okay, so this type of function
Yes.
can be categorized as give nothing, give something,
Take.
but take nothing. Okay, the last one is your give something take something means is the most useful and conventional approach of writing a function is this one. It
Mm.
is also taking something in its parameter and also it is
And returning
returning
something.
something. Okay, so the function that is calling This function, okay, will also have some data, will also have some value from this function. So this type of function can be
Yes.
categorized as give something, also take something. Okay. So last day we
Okay.
was end up to here. Today we will start from this slide. Okay. Parameters and argument. Now, what is a parameter and argument? We usually heard these two terms in terms of when we discuss about function. We heard
Mm.
something called parameters and arguments. So what are these things
Mm.
actually? See here, when we define a function, so the function look like this.
Mm.
When we define a function, the function is look like this, and within
Yes.
parentheses we put some variables. Okay,
Mm.
what is the purpose of this variable? This variable is
Giving
going
something.
to this variable is going to hold the data that will be, or we can say that will be supplied to this function when it is called. See, this is
For.
the function call.
Mm.
This is the, what I can say, this is function call, right? So
Mm.
during function call, whatever data we are passing, that is going to be stored in this variable. Okay,
Mm.
this variable is called parameter. This variable is called parameter. Okay,
Mm.
now at this call, when we are calling the function, the value that is been passed into, okay, is
Mm.
termed as argument. Okay, so this is
Yes.
basically argument, and this argument is
Mm.
going to store in a variable, okay, given inside this parenthesis. That variable is
Yes.
termed as parameter. So
Parameter.
arguments and parameters are basically same. When the value is passed into the function, that value is called as the argument. Now when that value is catched inside the function has parameters to catch those values. Okay, so
Okay.
you understand what is called parameter and argument, I hope. Okay,
Yes.
okay, now mm, the inside a function the argument is assigned. Okay, okay, fine. Now we are going to explore this point, default argument. Now what is a default argument? See here,
Mm.
when I'm writing this function, when I'm writing this function, okay, this is, let's say this is the function. Okay, now how you have to
Mm.
call this function? You have to call this function by having a call check, and inside that you have to
With
pass a value.
some value.
You have to
Mm.
pass the value. Okay, if you do not pass the value, what will happen?
Mm.
It will raise an error, because
Yes.
the function is written in such a way that whenever we call that function, it must have
We have to give some
some
value.
value. Okay, now mm, we can write that function in some other fashion, that if we do not pass the value, means we,
Mm-hmm.
just a minute, we want the function to work in that way that if we do not pass any value, then also it will work with some default value. Okay, so
Okay.
we can write a function in such a way that the parameter got a value
Mm.
during the call. If the user is passing the value to the parameter, then it is okay, no problem. But
Mm.
if the user is not passing the value, okay, then also it will work. Okay, we
With the
want the
default
function
value.
in that way. So how
Mm.
can we do that thing? The solution is your default argument. Okay, default argument.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do some exercise on this default argument. So we move to our
Ideally.
ideally, and let's do some R&D. See here. Okay, so we can straightforward write functions here, you know, directly we can write
Mm.
functions here, or we can do some files. So better I am creating files for the future reference. I can pass these files to you for your reference. Say saving the file.
Okay. Mm.
Say test1.py। এই বাকিরা বুঝছো তো? মাঝে মাঝে রিপ্লাই করো।
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
Okay, now see, I'm writing a function. Say how to write a function, বলো মধুরিমা জানো?
Def.
বৃষ্টি, how to write a function using
ডিপ, হ্যাঁ।
def? Say we are
Name of a
Function.
function.
we are going to add two numbers. Say give the name of the function sum, and a comma b is going to be our two parameters, and we are taking c as a variable which will store the result of a plus b,
A
and
plus
we are
B.
going to print the value from inside the function. And that's a simple and tiny function. Okay,
Mm.
everybody recognize that this is a function.
Yes.
Now see, if I want to call this function, then what I have to do, I have to pass two values.
Pass the parameter.
No, when I am passing the value, these are called the arguments. These are the
Mm.
parameters. Okay,
Yes, sorry. Arguments we have to pass.
you have to set the parameters by assigning some arguments into the function call. Okay,
Mm.
so these are called parameters. Parameters are set with these values. These values are called
Mm.
arguments. Okay, now if you run it,
Mm.
then what will happen? This 10 will be stored inside a, this 20 will be stored inside b. Okay, and since a and b got their respective values, so those will be added, produce the value in c and print it. Okay, print the value of c.
Yes.
30 you are getting as expected, right?
Mm.
Arrange these two things. You can arrange the two windows side by side, and also this one. Okay, now see what are the changes we can make. Suppose I am not going to give the value, then what will happen? See, the function was written in such a way that it will expect two values. Okay,
Two.
two values,
Mm.
a for a and b. Now when I'm giving one value, so it will store this value into a, but the remaining parameter will left empty. Okay,
Mm.
so what will happen?
Yes.
We can expect an error. We are getting some error. Okay, the positional argument b, missing one
Mm.
required positional argument b. Positional argument means what? This is a term you should know. Positional argument. So these are some variables, okay, parameters,
Mm.
and when we are assigning the value 10, 20, okay, this 10
Mm.
will be stored in a and this 20 will be
And
stored in b. That is for
B.
sure,
Mm.
because these a and b are two positional argument, sorry, positional, those are two parameters. Okay, so
Mm.
if you pass in function call first argument in the first place, so the position is related between these two, na? So this
Yes.
and this has a relation
Mm.
against the position of the parameters. Okay, so that's why these are
Yes.
called positional argument. Okay, so it is clearly saying that positional argument for b is missing. Okay.
Is missing.
Now what I am doing, if I miss both, then what will happen? The same error, we will expect the same error here, the same error. Positional argument a and b both are missing, so we do not expect the thing. Means we do not
Mm.
like that thing. We should redefine the function in such a way that this type of function
Mm.
call will be possible. Then 10 comma 20. So we want to make these things possible. So every function,
Mm.
this every statement will work. Okay. Okay. Now see, how can we make it possible? We can make it possible by assigning some value
Default values.
here, say 0 equal to
Mm-hmm.
0. So these are called default arguments. So this 0 is
Mm.
a default argument. This is argument, na?
Mm.
The value is being
Mm-hmm.
given. Okay. So that value is an argument. So when you are supplying the value here, so these are arguments, and these arguments are default because if you miss any if you miss any argument, so this value will be assigned to that
It will
particular
take.
parameter. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Now we will run the program. See here, 0, 10, 30. Why? It is 0 for the first one. Look,
First
so
time,
this one is when I am calling this one, so we are not supplying any arguments to any
any
variable.
value.
So both the parameters will be assigned with the default value 0. Hence, the 0 is summed and it is printed as 0. Now, when I am assigning a single value, so it will place this value to A, not to B. Okay, it will place this value to A, not to B. So 10 plus 0, B will be
Is
assigned with
10.
this default value. 10 plus 0 will be 10. That's why we are getting 10 here. Now when I am calling this one, it will work, means 10 and 20 will be assigned to be A and B respectively. Okay, no default value will work
Okay.
in that case. So this
Work
is
well.
the way how you can sorry, use the default arguments inside the function definition. Okay.
Function definition.
Tell me, everyone, say you can put any
Yeah, it is.
value as default value,
Yes.
any value as default value, means default argument. Okay. So
Okay.
minus 10, why it is minus 10? Because 0 plus of minus 10 minus 10.
10 minus
Why it is
10.
0? 10 plus of minus 10 is 0, and it for this it will be 30. B is not going to take this minus 10 because we have already supplied the value. So this is your default argument. Okay.
Okay.
I hope it is clear to everyone.
Yes, it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now one more thing we can do it here. Suppose here both the arguments are means both the parameters are given default values. Okay. Now if you
Mm.
want that some parameter will be there which are non-default, means some parameters will be there which do not have any default value. Okay,
Mm.
and some parameters are there which have some default values. Then what will happen? So we are going to write another function a similar way. Look how we can do that. So I'm just copying this one and paste
Mm.
here and comment it
Comment.
here. Suppose we are
Mm.
not giving the default values for A and we are giving default
Mm.
values for B,
B.
say triple one. Okay. Then what will happen? See here, tell me what will be the output. Guess, just wait. I will call name Madhurima
Mm.
na Mita. গেস করো তো কি আউটপুট আসবে মধুমিতা গেস
I think her network has gone. She left the meeting.
ও দেন বৃষ্টি anyway Just
ফার্স্টে
hmm
এর কোনো ভ্যালু তো দেওয়া হয়নি, তাহলে এরর
error. From which call it will produce an error?
সাম সাম
Hobby.
ফার্স্টেরটা।
The first one. Okay. From first one we will going to get an error. See here, if we run it, so we are getting error in line number 13. Do not need to count the line number 13. Okay. Rather just comment it out and save it and run it. Here we are getting the result, these things. Why 121? Because when you are passing,
10 plus
then 10 will be assigned to A, and since we are not passing the second argument, so second argument for B is already taken this default value. Okay, so triple one plus 10, it is 121.
121.
Now when we are passing
The
both the
next
values,
one will be 30.
next one will be 30 because we are passing both the values. Okay, so it is
Okay.
also possible, and some parameters are there comes with default values, and some parameters are there with no default values. Okay, but there is a rule here. Okay, what is the rule? Rule is the sequence how you can mention these arguments, means default arguments and non-default arguments. Okay, how you can mention the parameter, that there is a rule. Okay, in that, let me show you the thing. So this is all okay. Okay,
Mm.
now if you want to just run it once more time, say you are getting it's okay. Now we are going to write another function here. We are going to interchange the position of these things, means, or you can say I am giving 111, and this I want to mm, keep without default argument. Okay, so this is non-default, right? But this is default. Okay, now let's try to compile it. Just try to run it. See, non-default argument follows default argument. This is an error. This is an error. Okay. Non-default argument follow default argument. Means what? This is a non-default argument. This is following default argument, which is wrong. You cannot do in Python in this way. Always you have to
Okay.
mention the non-default first, then
Default
the
work.
all default will follow the non-defaults. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
got it. So this
Okay.
is you cannot write something like that. Maybe you can. You may ask me that can I write this thing? See here, here
I think this
these
is
are non-default.
okay.
Okay, and
Mm.
the default is following non-default. Will it be okay?
Mm.
Guess.
I think so. It is okay.
It will not okay because here there is a non-default and it is following the default. Okay, so it will not be okay. So
Mm-hmm.
if you start giving default arguments, then nothing, means non-default you cannot uh, give after that. Okay,
Mm.
so the rule is to put all the non-defaults first, then give the defaults. Okay, okay, so what, going to the next slide. So this was your default argument and non-default argument. Okay. So next is your variable parameters. Variables and parameters are local. Now the scope concept. What is the scope concept? Can anyone tell me? Do you have any idea what is the scope concept?
Like the values are all accessed within the scope of the scope where it is declared.
Mm, see, when we run a program, okay, the program occupies some spaces from memory. Na? Now, when you are calling a function, that function is going to occupy some space. Say you are calling a function f. Okay, so this f function will get a space from memory. Say this is the memory. Now, all the variables that you declared inside the function will get their own space from inside that functions. Okay,
Okay.
so we can say that these are the variables. Say you declare two variables a and b. Okay, and the scope of these
Yes.
variables are this one. Means we
Mm.
can access these variables from inside this part of memory. We cannot access variables from here. This is out of scope.
Okay.
If you give a reference, okay, just like that, it is not possible.
Mm.
But if you refer the
Okay.
variables from inside here, so it is
It
okay.
is
Okay.
possible. Mm.
So this is called scope. Okay, scoping. Now
Okay.
suppose if you are having another function in the same program, having another function in the same program, say inside that function you are again having a variable name a. Okay. Now, if you refer this a from inside the function, that is okay, no problem. That is okay, no problem. Okay, but if you refer this a from outside, okay, then what will happen? It will not be referred.
Not be able to
Okay, that's why
refer.
this scope is been utilized in the program, because if you are accessing this variable a from outside the scope of any of the function, then which function it will resolve? Yes, sorry, which variable it will resolve this reference? So it will not resolve to anyone. Okay, that's why
Mm.
the scope is uh, given over there. So these variables, whatever you declare
Okay.
inside the variables, are called local, and this scope is your
Mm.
local scope. This is your local scope. Okay. Now you can
Okay.
declare a variable just outside the region of any function. Means just like here, say a.
Mm.
Now this variable, since it is not declared inside any local scope, it can be referred to a global
Mm.
variable. Okay. Means
Global
every
variable.
function can access this variable. Okay, every function can access this variable because it is not
Okay.
confined within. Uh,
Any scope.
just a minute,
Any
just a
local scope.
just a minute. Okay, so we were telling you that the local scope. You understand what is a local scope? Global scope
Yes.
is not confined within any particular function area. Okay, so that is a global scope. So regarding this, we are going to demonstrate the scope rules here, and some new things you will see here. Okay, I am creating another function, another file. Delete one. First, we work with local variables.
Okay.
Define a function fun. Take a variable, say this one. Okay, we are just printing the variable. Here, this area is outside the function. Watch carefully. Okay, just watch. This area is your global area or general area, you can say. Okay, inside the function,
Okay.
inside the function, this is uh, your local area. Okay, this is a global area. Okay, now if you call the function here, okay, no problem. The control will be transferred to here in this area, and this will be executed. See here where the variable a is being referred. Here the value, we are assigning a value to the variable a, and here we are referring that variable. Okay, so everything happens inside a local space. Mm, so you are calling the function fun. Okay, now if
Okay.
we run it, then we are getting triple one, no problem. But if we want to access the variable, say I'm just want to print the variable a. Okay, this a here. So what will happen? See here, this a is kept inside this function. Okay,
Hmm.
now it is same thing
Is
like
not
that.
accessible.
You are trying to access the variable, a local variable,
Okay.
from outside the scope. Will it be
Yes.
possible?
Not possible.
It will not be possible. So what will happen? It will give some error. Name a is not defined. Okay, name a is not defined. So you cannot access a local variable. This is a local variable. Okay, so just keep a comment. Local variable. It's a local variable. Okay,
Okay.
local variable cannot be accessed from outside the class, from outside the function. It can
Scope.
only be accessed from within the function. Now I am taking some other variable. Say here, this is a global scope. Okay, so
Mm.
take a variable b and assign some value to it. Okay, 200.
Mm.
Okay, now this b variable. Okay, this b variable is declared outside the scope of this
Outside
function.
the function.
Okay,
Mm.
now what happens if I want to access this b variable from here? Okay, then what will happen?
It
Print
is accessible.
b. If you want to access this b variable from here, then what will happen?
It is possible to access.
Yeah, we have to stop this thing. Shashiji, if you can please mute
Ha.
yourself. Okay, thank you. See here, this value, this b variable is assigned with a value from outside the scope of the function. That I am saying that this is a global scope. Global global scope. Hence, the variable is global variable. Okay. So you can access that variable from inside the function and also from here. Print B. See, 200 is print twice. Okay. You can mention from inside fun. Okay. And from outside fun. Okay. So B is a global variable, means the variable is declared outside the scope of any function and it can be accessed from anywhere. Okay. I'm again trying to print it out. From inside the fun, from outside the fun. Both are accessible. But you cannot access this A variable because it is a local variable. It can only be accessed from inside the fun. Okay. Okay. Just you have to watch the progress of the function. This function means this code is going to be uh, complicated. Maybe you not means I'm going to modify it to some extent. Okay, so just follow the progress. Now what I am doing, I am defining another function, def fun2. Okay. Inside that fun2, first I am trying to access that B from inside fun2 and B. Okay, what will happen? We have to call fun2. So after this, I am calling fun2. Fun2. Okay. Since B is declared outside the scope of all the functions, so B will be accessible to all of them. Means you can access it from fun, you can access it from fun2, you can access it from outside. Okay, save and run here. From inside fun, from outside fun, from outside fun2. We have to write here like that. Okay, from outside fun, comma fun2, both. Okay, B is accessible from everywhere. Now, what I am doing, I am going to declare a variable A is something, say 222. See here, this function is already having a variable name A. Okay. Will it be possible to declare another variable named A in some other
Yes,
function? Yes,
yes,
it will be
the
possible.
scope.
Local var. Okay. So if you print, say, from fun2 A equal to comma A, and I am modifying this statement from fun A equal to comma A. Okay, so it will be possible. Just run it. There is no restriction. See here, from fun to A, 222, triple two. This is, and from fun A, this is triple one. So there is no restriction that you cannot redefine. Sorry, you cannot have another variable with the same name that you have already used in a function. Every function got its own place like that. This is fun1, this is fun2, that will be fun3, something like that. So inside that function you can declare any variables. Okay, give any name, no problem. Okay. Okay, so this is your local and global variable. Now see, I am going to declare a variable somewhere here. See, I am taking a variable, say c is equal to say 300, 3000. Okay. Now I am trying to access the variable c from here. Also from here and from here. So from where we are accessing the variable c? So from inside fun,
Look,
c is equal to c. From inside fun2,
one, two,
c is equal to c. And from outside fun, comma fun2. Okay. C is equal to your c. So what will happen? Yes. Now you all can unmute and tell me.
we can access,
Hmm?
we can access the value. We can still access the value.
Okay. Run it and check. See here. Uh, First this one. Okay. Ignore all other print. Okay. From inside fun C from inside fun C 3000, right?
Yes,
From inside fun to C, from inside fun to C, it is printing. Okay. Next, from outside fun and fun to C, everyone is presenting the value 3000. That means these variable can be accessed from all the methods, all the functions uh, above and below. No problem. Okay.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Next.
One doubt I had here, sir.
Yeah.
Actually. Oh, in the same line, can we use two print statement?
Which one?
Is it possible in Python?
Sorry.
Like in C or C++, in other programming languages,
Hmm.
if you use the statement terminator and we can write one more statement next to it, any other statement, right? So here in Python, is it possible like that to have the another statement to be continued in the same this thing, or indentation will not be allowed
I am
due to
actually I
that?
am not getting your point. Please.
Okay. Here once we have written print from fun a equal to no, like that. Can we write the second print statement also in the previous line?
This one.
This one.
This one. I we will write here.
Oh no no no. After that a
After
in the
that,
same line. In the same line, can we use print to print statement while typing?
while typing in the same line, we just a minute. This one.
Like yeah, like this. Or
Like this.
indentation will not allow us.
See, you can always check invalid syntax. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Python strictly follow this indentation.
Indentation. Okay.
Okay. In C, C++, there is something semicolon.
Statement terminator.
Okay,
Ah.
it was statement terminator of line. Okay, but here in Python,
Mm.
you are not going to have any such kind of terminator, line terminator. Okay, so Python will always
Okay.
find that new line at the end
Okay.
of each line. Okay,
Okay
so
then.
up to this local and global concept, are you getting what is a local variable and what is a global variable? Okay,
Yes.
okay, fine. Now I am moving to another file and taking some more example. Now you will see some changes here. Okay, so first save it. Def fun. Okay, one thing I'm just mentioning here, the variable declare here is also a local variable, is also will also come inside the local scope. Okay, you should know that. Not only these
Okay.
variables, not only these variables,
Okay.
but the variables you declare or you have here means the
Parameter.
parameters are also comes inside, falls inside the local scope of that particular
Local scope.
function. Okay. Now
Okay.
see here, this is a. Okay. No, I am going to print the value of a. Look carefully. I am having this variable. What type of variable a is? A is a global variable, right? Now
Yes.
inside this function, I am just accessing, trying to access this variable a,
Mm.
and I am calling this main part. Main part means the general one.
Mm.
Okay. What will happen? Nothing, simple. A will
It
be
is
printed.
print 111.
Okay. Now what I am trying, a I am giving some value here. If you can remember from C, C++ or Java, the scope rule
Mm.
that if you have
Mm.
a variable with same name in local, in both local and global scope, then local scope will
Mm.
get prioritized. No?
Yes.
Okay. So what will happen here? Just guess and give me an answer.
It will print 10.
Okay, fine. Anyone else? Hmm? Okay, run. It is giving you 10. Okay.
10.
Now what happen if you just remove this 10 here? Means I am just commenting out. Then what will happen?
It will print 111.
It will print one. Uh, can you guess anything from here? What is actually happening? Okay, to help you, I am just trying to print the value of a here. Okay, I'm giving a message from main a equal to comma a. So what the value this a will get?
111.
Okay, from main a equal to
10.
1 1. Very good. Okay, now what I am doing, I am just trying to increment the value of a plus 1. Okay. Or rather, I am assigning the value a equal to 10 here and just commenting out here. Tell me, what can be the output, probable output?
111.
There will be two output.
2111.
From fun
Mm.
a is equal to comma. So there will be two output for a. So what will be that? 2111. Why?
Yes.
A is
Let me
111.
start the recording.
So coming here, a will be printed as 111. After that, a is going to be 10. then it will come out of the function and it will print what?
111.
111. Why 111? Why you are saying that 2111 will be printed? When you are saying that 2111 will be printed, then you are not considering this line, right?
Mm. Mm.
Why you are not considering this line? Because you are taking this a as a local variable, right?
Yes. Mm.
Now when you are taking a as a local variable, then how can you take this a as a global variable? Are you getting my point? Is it simply because that you have encountered this line? You have to, that's why I draw this figure. You have to think this thing. This is a boundary. Okay. Inside that
Mm.
boundary, acha, okay, I'm explaining it, but before that, let me run it. See, observe this code. A, this is commented out. I'm not dealing with
Mm.
this line. I'm deleting. This you need to understand. Okay, just this line and run it. Your response was 2111 will be printed. So there are some errors. There are some errors. You can find that what are the errors. Unbound local, and the errors is related with A. Okay. Now what is happening here? The happening is when you have this boundary, okay, a function is just like a boundary, bounded space in memory. Okay. Now inside that boundary, if you have a variable here, if you have a variable here, it doesn't matter. Whenever you are referencing the variable, it will search in within this boundary. So,
Mm.
so when you use this line, at once Python is treating this a variable as a local variable. This is a local. You already accept it that this is a local variable, right? So
Mm.
when you give this kind of assignment, because in Python, if it is a Java program, then you have to write like that, okay? But since Python do
Yes.
not accept any variable declaration, any specific separate variable declaration, just an assignment or having this variable is enough, okay? So at once it encountered this line, it is considering this a as a local variable, okay? Now if
Mm.
it's a local variable, then a is uh, a this in this line, this a becomes non-referencing, means you are referencing the variable before any assignment value, okay? Python interpreter based. So when it encounters this line, it has the reference that means a is a local variable,
Global variable.
not global, local variable, since you have used this one, okay? So a becomes a local variable. This information is given to the Python, but it is not getting any value for that variable, okay? See,
Okay.
unbound local error means a local variable which is unbound to any memory space, okay? But any value you can say, okay? So although you have a global variable, okay, but if you use this kind of statement, means if you have a local variable anywhere inside the function, all the previous referencing to that variable will refer to that particular local variable. It will not refer to the global variable as you are expecting, as you were expecting. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
So this a is going to be local. Okay, this is no more local. But if you do not use this line, then this in this whole code, this a has only one place to refer, and this one, so it will be happy. Python will be happy to refer this thing as a global. Okay, will run, no problem. We already seen it. 2111, no problem. But at once you declare this a inside the function in any line before the refer before print or after. Okay, it will consider a as a local variable. Okay, got it?
Mm.
Tell me if it is clear to you.
Can you
Yes,
please
sir.
tell the topic once?
Which one?
The definition. The just the definition with related to this.
Variable scoping, local and global.
Yeah, well, no, this one when it is A is referring with a within the local. Once we give this statement A is equal to 10, what exactly is happening?
Here,
Mm.
this a is going to be local variable. Okay, so every reference to this name a will be local inside this function. Okay,
Okay, okay.
okay, fine. So this was important because for a long project or a long program, suppose you have some global variables and you inside every functions means inside you have a functions a long line, multiple lines are there. Okay, where you referenced
Mm.
such global variables, and somewhere below, okay, you have assigned a variable like that. Okay, so all variables will got that local reference. Okay, so they will, every variable, every line will lose their global reference. Okay, once you declare this variable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this was your local and global concept. I hope mm, discussion up to this about local and global scope is enough. For the time being, all you need to do some R&D, okay, from your end to get the idea uh, uh, clear for you. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Now the next one. It's again a
This
new thing.
happens only when we have same name, na?
Sorry.
Same variable name. This problem will happen when we
Huh,
have the same variable name.
sure. Only same variable name will make this things like that. If you have a different variable
Okay.
name, then
Then there won't be an issue.
so obviously it will be
Okay.
same variable name. The confusion arises when two peoples are comes in front of us with same name. Okay.
Yes, correct. Mm.
Okay. So it's 4.5. Mm, Now what we will do here? See, I am defining a function fun again. Inside this function, I'm
Mm.
going to print the value of a. Now, what is a? A, like previous,
Yes,
I'm taking a variable,
global variable.
global variable. So I'm printing this one,
Mm.
and again, this is our main part, and here we are calling fun. No problem. Say triple one, fine. Now, what
Mm.
I'm doing here, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to assign some value here. What will happen?
Equal to 10. That A will be referred to 10.
It will be referred to 10. What will happen if I run the program right now?
Error.
Okay, it will error. Okay,
Mm.
now you want that, okay, uh, I have to remove that error, and this a is the same a, this one. Okay,
Mm.
and this a will also be the same a, means you
Correct.
want that our function should recognize this a or
The-
any a in its body as a global a, means the global
Mm.
variable. Then what you have to do, Python has its own provision for that. Okay, what is that? Is a
Okay.
global keyword. global A.
Mm-hmm.
You just mention that global A. First run it. See, you have again triple one. Okay, means this one triple one. Okay. Now here you just print from outside, sorry, outside fun A equal to comma A, and I'm just modifying this one from fun A is equal to comma A. Okay. What will happen? Guess, guess, guess.
It
First,
will first first it will print 111,
hmm.
and then it will print again 111 only, I feel.
Okay,
Error.
not error. Okay, it will print.
Oh, 10 it is taken now.
I told you now.
How
Whenever
come
you are
outside?
writing this thing, that means you are informing Python that see wherever you found a inside this function, that is the same a as it was declared in the Gurva scope. Got it? So it is going to
Mm-hmm.
be the same a. This a is not a local now. This is not local. You can say it is the same
Okay, it will
global variable.
consider it as a global variable.
This is somehow this is a certification. That means a is not a local variable. Do not consider that a equal to 10, a as a local variable. Consider a as a global, that old global variable. Got it? The
Mm-hmm.
problem we were facing in the last program has been resolved by using this global keyword. So Python has this
Keyword.
global keyword which will declare a global variable from inside a function, or
Mm.
using that global variable what we are doing right here. Okay, using this global variable we are recognizing Python that a is this global variable, not do not declare a as a new local variable to this function. Got it?
So in the memory, whatever changes done to A will be reflected.
Sure, because that is a global. See here we are defining another function f12. Here we are incrementing a is equal to a plus 1. Fine. Now we are printing value a from fun2 a equal to comma a. No problem. Tell me what will be, means we are going to call the fun2 from here. Okay. Tell me the output.
Fun to output.
Now means the complete output. There are three print statement here. First of all, when
Mm,
you have the functions, you have to understand that functions are being called properly. Okay, two functions are there, two functions have been called here. So
mm.
altogether we have three print function. So you will get three print output. So what will be the
Okay.
output?
First
Yes.
one will be 111.
Okay. First one will be 111.
Then
Fun is
then
called.
10. Uh,
Then
10
you have to consider this print statement.
fun to
Hmm.
this print statement. It will print 11
Okay, it will print 11. Why?
because this A is been assigned in fun 1 as 10 and it has been referred as global
Where it is referred as global?
in the for def function,
In fun
in the
function.
function, in fun function.
In fun function, a is referred as global. Okay, run it. See, there is an error, unbound local error. Same thing. In fun function, you
Oh.
declared a as global, but in fun2, you do not declare this a. You are just trying to assign this a is equal to a plus 1. So, this assignment means this referencing is giving you the error.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you have to also declare global here. global A. Now this fun2 also come to know that okay, this A is not a local variable. We have to consider it have to consider this global variable A as this A. Now you
Mhm.
run this here. First is triple one, next is 11 as usual.
Then also I'll be.
This
Mm.
fun is assigning 10 in the global variable A. This now fun2 getting access the same variable and it is incrementing the value by 1 making it 11 and coming out of all the functions it will get the 11 value. Got it? So global
Mm.
keyword you learned here. Fine.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Mm.
Okay. So we have completed what is called a local variable, what is called a global variable. Okay.
Yes.
Now we have something more. Okay. Do you have any doubt in any other areas or concept? Local, global. We have another one here in scoping rule. Okay. So creating another function, new file. Do you have heard the term nested?
Mm.
Okay, where nested if, nested
Loops,
loop, no? Mm.
loops,
In Python,
and nested decision making. Mm.
a nested decision make.
Decision making.
Okay, fine. In Python, you can write a nested function too. Okay,
Okay.
nested function. Interesting, huh?
Yes.
So def fun one. Okay.
Then it may become recursive, no?
No, no, no. Recursive function is completely different. Okay, this is a
Calling a function within means itself. The function is called itself.
nested function. You can say inner function,
Yes.
outer function, something like
Outer
that. Okay.
function. Okay.
See here, say I am just demonstrating what is a nested function. After that, we will go into that concept, scoping rule, another. So this is, you can say, from fun one outer
Okay.
outer function. Okay. Now here you can define another function. Say fun one underscore one means
Inner
this
function.
this is
Nested function.
yeah this is a nested function. Okay. Do not go into the name. Means you can give any name. Okay. You
Mm.
can give any name to it. Okay.
Mm.
Mm, See here, print from fun one underscore one, and that is your inner function, right?
Yes.
See here the indentation. If I move here, then we are out of the inner function, right?
Inner function.
If we
Yes.
are here, then we are inside the inner
We are
function.
inside the fun one.
If we are
Fun one
here, then
function.
we are outside the inner function
Outside
and we
the
are inside the fun one, outer function.
fun
Okay.
one function.
So I am just giving an enter here. Okay. And calling that inner function fun one underscore one. Okay. Fun one underscore one.
Mm.
Acha, just give me 1 minute.
Mm.
Just 1 minute. Okay. Hello.
Huh.
Hmm. So, so this is the call to the inner function. Oh, just 1 minute again.
Okay.
Okay, so fun one, this is a call to the inner function.
Yes.
Inner function, okay, and we are coming out of the outer function. Now here, this is main area. Here you can call the fun
Yes.
one. Okay. Got it. This is the structure of writing in nested functions or inner function. Okay. Or
Okay.
just have a test run here from fun1 outer function and from fun1 underscore 1 inner function. Okay. So it is been printed. After that, this is printed. Got it. So this is the way how you can write a inner function. Now introduce some variables into it. Okay. What are the scope rules? The same scope rule will be mm, maintained here with that one special scope rule. So that I am going to explain. So suppose
Okay.
you have a variable a is equal to 1 on 1. This one. Okay. Now here you are printing this 1 1 1. Sorry, a variable. Okay. So what will happen? Yes. Start guessing from very beginning. Any guess? So we declare a variable inside outer function, and we are trying to access that variable from inside the inner function. What will happen? Run. Acha, I am giving a statement here. Okay, paste it. A is equal to comma a. It will be printed. Can be accessed. See here, can be accessed. Why? See here, this a variable now becomes a global variable for this function,
Okay.
for this inner function. Na? If
Hmm.
you forget this line, if you forget this one, so just if you follow this statement, then it is same, just like it is a global variable and you are accessing the global variable from within a local scope. So it is same thing. Got it?
Okay.
Now the
Okay.
problem will arise when you are trying to assign some value into that variable. So
Inner function.
if you do like that, then what will happen? This a is going to
Same error.
become
Unbound.
exactly the same error. I'm just checking whether it is giving the same error. Just check it. See here the same error, unbound local. It is because of this line. Okay. Now
Hmm.
for that purpose, what we were doing in the last program, we declare
Global.
this as global.
Globally.
So you can
Hmm.
declare this as global A, right? Now when you
Hmm.
declare global A, tell me, is it a global variable? Really, it is a global variable. Is it a global variable? A is local because
Yes.
you declare A inside this fun one. Na?
Different one.
Now, if you declare A as global, then this A is not going to be this A. Rather, if the program has some A over here,
Hmm.
global A will make this A, means all A inside this function as this one. This is a
Gl-
got it?
Hmm.
Global A. Okay. Currently, I am just
Mm.
commenting this thing. We do not require that much. You understand, I hope. If you write global
Okay.
here, okay, then this A is going to be a which can be accessed by any method inside this program. Not only inside
Mm.
this fun method, but also for every method. Okay. So there is a requirement of another scope rule or scope keyword, okay,
Mm.
which will restrict this A as a global, okay, but within this function, okay, for all the nested functions, this A is going to be global, okay. So there is a need,
Mm.
so the need will be maintained by a keyword non-local.
Non-local. Okay.
Okay. If you declare a variable non-local, and specifically this will be used inside the nested function. If you declare a variable as
Okay.
non-local, so it means that this A is not going to be a local variable inside the inner function. Rather, this A
It
will refer to the
to the
local
outer
variable of
function.
its outer function. Okay, got it? Now, if you run this program, hope you are
Will be.
not going to get any error. See here, same thing. Tell me if it is clear or not. Non-local is something that is completely new and with nested functions
Yes.
too. Okay. If
Okay.
you mention global here, then what will happen? This A is going to be a global variable and it can be shared by every function present in the
Every
program.
function.
But you do not
Okay. Correct.
like that. What you want, our intention is to make this A, okay, to refer to this variable, means the local variable to its parent function or
Outer
the outer
function.
function. That much, not going beyond that scope. So the solution is your local, non-local. Okay. Tell me,
Okay.
many things are there in Python. But
It's going very
these are
vast.
these are the small things. Means there are many things in Python. Some something you remember, something you forget, but always you have the reference, means web reference in your hand. Okay, go to the Python site, go to the W3 schools, or maybe a very good book in your hand. You will get rid of that means all those things. Okay, and see here, these all things are, how can you remember all these things? It is not possible to remember all these things by just reading.
Mm.
Okay, you have to
Yes.
do practice, you have to do some assignments on a regular basis. Okay, regular coding habit is very much essential in this case. Okay, so you have to remember these things by only practicing the codes. There is no other remedy. Anyway, so this is your local and global scoping. We have to end here today. Just quickly tell me if uh, you have any doubts for today's class in any section. Okay, so we have completed here local and global scoping.
Yes.
This local and global scoping here. Okay, next type conversion function we did not do. Okay, so we complete up to this. Okay, next day we will
Okay.
complete these things. These are some module functions and nothing much here.
Mm.
These are very simple things, and then we will move into something called recursive function. Okay. Okay, quickly tell me if you
Okay.
have any doubt, anyone.
Yes. It's clear.
Okay, fine, then let me stop the recording.